What is up, everybody? AJ here. Today we're going to be talking about grass, Mary Jane, reefer, bud, chronic, kush, ganja, or like my mom always liked to call it, wacky tobacco. Any way you look at it, that is not what we're talking about. Sorry, folks. Just thought I'd throw that out there to get a little giggle out of somebody maybe. But we are talking about hemp and some of the uses for hemp. So I'm going to move right into it. Basically, hemp has tons and tons of uses. Like, say for instance, we're going to start with the seeds. We're going to say 30 grams or 3 tablespoons. And this is raw hemp seeds. Okay, so 3 tablespoons contain 186 calories or 10 grams of protein. And this is a complete protein source. It's a very complete, very good protein source. They have 15 grams of unsaturated fat. Fats like your omega-6s, your omega-3s, you know, those kind of fatty acids. So they're a very good fatty acid for you. And they got like 1.2 grams of fiber. Not a great deal of fiber, but good enough. They have a very high vitamin E source, phosphorus and potassium. They're a fairly decent source of like zinc and vitamin B, riboflavin, however you say that, and folate. So there is quite a bit of nutrition, and that's just in the seeds alone. And this is just strictly off of hemp. Hemp seeds have been proven to help with brain function and preserve brain function to help, you know, keep like Alzheimer's and shit like that away. So it's pretty interesting that it has that many different sources or, you know, available nutrition for you. And they kind of like have a bit of a nutty flavor. And so it's a little strange at first, but like a lot of things, it's a little strange till you get used to it and you get it into your diet. So I think it would be a very good thing to, you know, start incorporating that into your diet if possible. That's just the hemp seeds. Now I'm going to move into the hemp leaves. They're basically the same nutrition, the same nutritional value. You get basically the same thing as I listed with the seeds, except for with the leaves, you get like a anti-aging benefit, antibacterial and antifungal benefit. Now, of course, just like the seeds, you can kind of use them with everything in your salads, as sides. You can put them in smoothies, all that kind of good stuff. The leaves, you are better off using them when they're pretty small. The bigger they get, the rougher they get, and the rougher the texture is, the rougher it is on your stomach, everything like that. So the smaller the leaf, the better. Mixing the leaf with like spearmint to make a tea, that is really good. It makes an excellent tea. Also, just using regular honey with hemp and making a tea out of that makes a really, really good tea actually. And you get tons of benefits and tons of nutrition from it. And I'm sure it probably helps fight all the flus that are going on in the world if you would start putting this into your diet. And like I said, you know, put them in smoothies, put them in salads, you know, whatever you want to do on that type of stuff. There's a million ways to incorporate it. You can even put it in with your greens and stuff. Now, with that being said, you've got the seeds and you've got the leaves that are being used. You can still utilize the stalks on these things to make like your fibers for hemp ropes or hemp clothing, all that type of deal, all that type of stuff. These are very, very rugged plants, in my opinion, and around here they grow very easily and they're very durable. Minimal care on them. You can gather the seeds for yourself or your chickens or whatever. You can store the seeds for yourself or your chickens. Leftover scraps that you miss, like when the leaves get too big, and they will get too big because it's wild, pretty much wild around here. Throw that stuff into your chickens. They love it. They love scratching around, kicking that stuff around and eating it up. And they're gaining a ton of nutrition from it too. I'm sure it could save you a decent amount on feed. I've never really put the cost ratio down, I guess, on paper, but now that I'm talking about it out loud, I should do that to see what kind of rations it could potentially with, you know, X amount of row sizes. Like say you got a 30-foot long row, 3 plants wide, how much seed does that give you for your chickens later on in life? So I might try to figure that out a little bit later. But with that being said, moving on again, because I'm kind of just rambling here at this point, but you can make, of course, you can make butter. They actually make milk out of the seeds. there's all kinds of different things you could do with it. I would highly suggest looking up, working with hemp plants and stuff like that. Just look up all the uses for it. And then you can even grow more medicinal things, which I'd get over to Hutch Homestead and watch his stuff on that, because then those you do have a lot more care for, but you get a lot more benefits out of it as well. You get into the benefits of the THC and everything like that. And I've heard rumors down at the co-op that the buds are really good for you. I am just like Bill Clinton. I did not ever inhale, so I couldn't tell you how that works. But with that being said, I can tell you it makes a hell of a good butter, and it makes really good brownies. So it's just some things to consider to put up in your stock and potentially utilize for survival situations and shit hits the fan situations, because the ditchweed or hemp is good for all the things I listed, but the medicinal purposes, wow, that's a mouthful for me, has all the same things. But then you get the above and beyond with the THC, which would be great in a SHTF situation when you have tons and tons of stress. Now make sure you know all your laws and everything like that before you go growing any of this stuff or trying to grow any of this stuff in your states, because I don't want anybody to get in trouble for something that I said I thought was a good idea. However, if it's a shit hits a fan situation, you probably ain't gonna need no permission. So you could always store seeds and have seeds on hand, potentially. Like I said, Hutch Homestead would have a little bit better idea on that for the medicinal uses. But for the hemp style, that's very easy to store, very easy to use. And actually, if you just give it a space to live in, once you get it established, which is very easy to do, if you just give it somewhere to grow, it will spread, and it will spread like wildfire. So just keep up on it, don't let it get out of control. But look up these videos on hemp and see how many uses you can get. And if you watch my live tomorrow, you'll know why I even thought about considering talking about hemp or any of its uses, because one thing you could do with it that is also good above and beyond salads is put it in your potatoes, like just little sprinkles on there, like you do bacon bits or whatever. You can do your seeds like that as well. So all right, thank you all for watching. Y'all have a nice night, stay safe.